Hi, everybody. Thanks for popping in this morning and joining us as we talk through the Llewellyn 2020 Tarot Catalog. For those that don't know me, my name is Jake Ryan Kent, and I'm one of the publicists here at Llewellyn. And I'm also I don't want to say recovering, because I'm definitely not, but I am a tarot collector, and I have more than my fair share of decks littering the house. And so we thought, who better to be speaking to you about the tarot today. I've got some actual decks to have on camera, and then I've got some of the catalog as well. This is the catalog that we'll be talking about today. It's Llewellyn's 2020 catalog. And I'll have some links where you can, sign up for your catalog and sign up for, updates and emails from all of us here at Llewellyn toward the end there. And then, of course, you can check that out as well. Now, diving right in, I want to start off with the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. Now, this is the catalog page for the tarot. It's done by Rose Wright and Eugene Smith, who did the artwork for the Animal Totem Tarot in our previous works, as well as our Alice in Wonderland deck. But this is what the box looks like here in real life. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous magnetic clamshell box. Book is full color as well, which is gorgeous. You'll see that here. And, one of the things that I love is that if you are into Poe and know his works, even, just his famous ones like the Black Cat, the Raven, the Telltale Heart, it lends itself to a tarot story and a tarot, adventure is the word I'm going to use, so well that it's almost scary. And so this is the back of the deck. Okay, this lovely raven with this eyeball. So this is one of our more macabre decks I think we've actually done at Llewellyn, and I'm super pleased with it. I'm super proud of us for coming out with this. And some of the cards are very, reminiscent of the Rider-Waite style. They're very, contented to look like, the regular Rider-Waite. But then there are other cards, okay, that have just this eeriness to them. For example, we have the Nine of Cups here, which is this very beautiful card. But then these skulls on this cup, on these cups here, just add this element of eeriness. And you'll find that throughout many of the cards. There's like, oh, okay, this is a Rider-Waite edition. This is, something that, I would notice in other decks. This is the imagery I'm used to. And then there's an element in the cards that's like, oh, that's really disconcerting, and that's really, different. I think one of my favorites is probably the Empress card for this deck, based on the story of, was it Morella or Morelia, Mortella, who is a woman that dies, and then her in childbirth, and her daughter ends up looking just like her. And so there is a bit of a macabre factor there as well. Okay, so that's the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot, and that is coming out. And like I said, if you're a Poe fan, this is something that you should definitely be looking at, because it's going to be one of, I think, our more popular ones. And it's also, like I said, one of our more macabre titles. So I'm super pumped about that. Now, one I don't have on hand is a returning favorite. It's Maggie Stiefvater, who did the Raven's Prophecy Tarot for us. And then we have her Scorpio Sea Tarot from her Scorpio Races series. And these cards are fantastic. Melissa Sainova, who did Kitchen Table Tarot and Tarot Elements, is doing the book. So we have Melissa Sainova doing the book, and Maggie Stiefvater doing the artwork for the cards there. Okay, and it follows the denizens of these Scorpio races, these islands, and throughout the tarot deck. So if you're a fan of her work, that's something to look forward to as well. And then the next one that I have to talk about is another macabre one. We seem to be doing a macabre theme here. Not that I'm super, upset about that. I think it's a fantastic thing. Some of you have probably seen our teases and shares about it online. And I know that some of you already have gotten to review the deck. And here we have the Darkwood Tarot. This is by Sasha Graham, who did the book, and then Abigail Larson, who did the artwork. Okay, and I actually have a copy of that deck here. I'll show you a couple cards from that deck. This deck is so gorgeous. It is downright delicious. Here we have, again, the Hierophant here. Okay. And then we have, let's just cut the deck in the middle here. All right, we'll do this one. Ten of Swords, all right. So different interpretation of that a little bit. And then we have ones that are just very fairy tale, like they dive really deep into the fairy tale feeling. Like here's kind of the spinning wheel aspect. And I love Abigail Larson's artwork. She is a phenomenal artist. If you are familiar with her artwork, you will see that it is 100% what she does. The back of the deck looks like this, okay? And this is a great deck. It reads well. It's another Rider-Waite clone, and it reads incredibly well. It should be comfortable for all levels, as should the Edgar Allan Poe be comfortable for all levels. The Scorpio Sea Tarot will be, I think, maybe a little more of the intermediate, just because it does center around, Maggie Stiefvater's work. But that is something that you can definitely remedy by, reading into her work and familiarizing yourself with the people on the cards here. Then the next one I have, and I actually have another physical copy for you as well, is the Gilded Tarot Royale by Chio Marchetti. And this is a beautiful redesign of some of his earlier work. And the artwork has kind of matured. It's become a bit more, realistic, but also just beautiful and refined. And I think that it really is going to appeal to people who have looked into Legacy of the Divine before and others of Chio Marchetti's work. Now, this deck is, like I said, gorgeous, very deep colors, very deep images. So that's the Four of Swords there. All right, here's the Chariot. Okay, so beautiful, beautiful colors, beautiful design work on Chiro's part. I think it's a fantastic reimagining of his previous stuff, and I think that it's going to, again, be very popular. If you are a fan of his work, I know a lot of people I've talked to early on when they started tarot. That was one of the first, exposures to tarot they had was Chio Marchetti, Legacy of the Divine, and his other works as well. And so if you are familiar at all, you're going to enjoy this. And it's great for a lot of different things, not just divination-based divining, fortune telling, but also for personal growth and doing any shadow work as we are home in quarantine. Tarot itself is a great tool for that, overall, because you are always going to have something to do. I know a lot of people who use it for writing as well, so we'll talk about that in a bit. One of the next ones I have is the Wizard's Tarot, and I don't have a physical copy of this, but that is okay. The Wizard's Tarot is a gorgeous, gorgeous deck, and I think I could say about all of them, so I apologize because, they're just so darn pretty. But it is the sumptuous look at a high fantasy world, a high fantasy deck. So if you are a fantasy fan and you like things like Tolkien and George R.R. Martin, then you are going to enjoy, I think, just how rich these cards feel. And looking at the next one I have for you, we have some minis on hand. Okay, and I have a couple of these on hand too, so I'm gonna show you those as well. But we have Llewellyn's Classic Tarot minis, and then we have the Steampunk minis. Now, if you guys have the regular size ones, on hand, then you are going to love these little tiny on the go, ready to use, anywhere you are. Throw it in your bag, throw it in your, car. I knew a person who kept a pack of cards in their glove box and would, keep it there for road trips and things like that. So this is the size of the deck. The image here is the same exact image that you'll find in the regular size, same back as well. And then we have the steampunk one, which is, again, the same back as the original size. And the front is still here. And again, so the steampunk, for those that don't know, is done by Ali Fell. That's who did the artwork. It's A-L-Y, Fell, F-E-L-L. And Barbara Moore did the book. And then the Classic Tarot is, again, Barbara Moore and then Eugene Smith, who did the Poe artwork as well. So you'll see a lot of similar style in his decks. Okay. Now, one I don't have on hand because so working from home and then popping into the office as we've been, to grab things for the product for this presentation. This deck is so popular. This is Laura Tempest-Zacroft's Liminal Spirits Oracle, and it is so popular I cannot find one in the office. So everybody who's got one already pre-ordered and all of that is going to have to, definitely post on Instagram for us. Tag Llewellyn Books. Tag Llewellyn Books in everything you post because we love to see it. We really do. But Laura Tempest-Zacroft's work follows different spirits that she's got here. So she's got Peacock, she's got the Mandrake, and then she's got the Snail. And these are just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful pieces that she's done. They're all Laura Tempest-Zacroft originals. And if you don't know who she is, you should follow Laura Tempest-Zacroft on social media to see more of her artwork and see more of her process there. So that's the big ones we have coming out for Llewellyn, which is fantastic. And I think that it's going to really showcase the talent we have as far as tarot creators. One of the things I love about, for example, the Poe Tarot is that Rose Wright, who did the book, really has a wonderful ability to tie in Poe's narratives with the meanings of the cards. So you're not just getting, oh, I wanted to do a theme and, so I made it work. Like, they really do mesh so nicely that it's just eerie, I think is the word for it. It really is. And that's okay. Now, switching gears a little bit, we have a couple of decks that I want to show you because we are the distributors for Lo Scarabeo and Blue Angel. Lo Scarabeo, of course, is in Italy, and then Blue Angel is from Australia. And starting off with Lo Scarabeo, I am excited for this deck. Speaking of a high fantasy deck, we have the Heaven and Earth Tarot, okay? And that's what this looks like here. And this is one that I am so eager to get my hands on. I cannot even tell you. It is just delicious color, deep, beautiful, very striking images. And when I saw this, I said to Mario of Lo Scarabeo that this was absolutely stunning and he needed to come out with it immediately and send me a copy. But, he said no. He said no. Which is totally okay. But the Heaven and Earth Tarot is going to come in the clamshell box. And the book is done by Jamie Elford, who is a wonderful tarot writer, prolific tarot writer, one of our favorite authors here. And she did the Tarot Inspired Life. And like I said, you have this high fantasy appeal where you have all these beautiful, rich cards happening. And I'm just so excited because I don't think I've seen one like that before. It's just wonderful. Okay, so, and then again, something a little different. We're seeing a lot of, tarot card decks come out that are not the usual for a lot of things, a lot of themes that are different, a lot of attempts at, twisting the systems a little bit, which I think is really cool. And one of the things that's really popular to do is take decks where you have like the 78 cards and they all have a specific feel, like they should all kind of be a family together. And then you give a card, you assign a card to a different artist. And a couple of decks have done that in the past. And here we have LlewellynWorldwide doing the Vox Arcana, the Voice of Tarot. And it is 70 different artists, and they have gotten their card. And so these are different artists that do these cards. And it's able to showcase how artists can come together to create something that's really beautiful, really magical. And I think it's going to be one of those things that really stands out. Because there's not many that are on the market right now that are done, I think, to the point where it's like it's as big. It might be like 2 or 3 artists, but I think having a full 78 artists, I think that's really cool. Again, and the book is done by Jamie Alfred as well for that. Okay, and then looking at this, I don't have this one, but I do have a related one to this one to show you. This is the Tarot Gold and Black edition, okay? And the Tarot Gold and Black is this beautiful black background with the gold inlay showcasing, the designs here of the Rider-Waite. And then we have the black and gold, which is there, and I'll show you that one here as well. And this is what the back looks like for the black and gold, okay? And so it's going to be the reverse, where the line work is going to be in gold and the back is going to be this black color. And this is something that's really ambitious. I love it. It pops on camera, it pops on photography work, it pops in real life. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful project, and I think having both is so cool. So that's from LlewellynWorldwide, and that one is done, the book is done by Mary K. Greer. So if you are a fan of Mary K. Greer, pick that up as well. Now the next one we have, there's 2, and I want to show you this, one at a time here, but I'll talk about them. The first one I'll talk about is the regular edition of the Murder of Crows Tarot, which is here, and that is just this black and white crow themed deck. And now I know. You might look at this and be like, oh my gosh, that is so stark and so beautiful. But I want a little color, I want a little color on there. Well, here we have the limited edition Murder of Crows, where it has these splashes of red. Okay, and that box is just fabulous. So again, I'm going to show you that here. So that one is there, splashes of red there. And then let's take a look here. Switching to our other distributor, we have Blue Angel, and they have some beautiful, beautiful decks that I want to talk about, such as the Lantern Oracle. They don't do a lot of tarot, but they have done recently some tarot decks, but they do oracles really well. Lantern Oracle features these stunning images of different women, and they're a great deck to use for self-introspection, a great deck to pull like as a daily thing here. If you want to pull for a card a day, and that's done by Angelina Mirabito and Yuli Alejo. And so if you want to check out the artwork of Yuli Alejo, it's Yuly, Alejo's Alejo. So that's the Lantern Oracle there. Okay. And then we have the Star Temple, and this is looking at the ancient wisdom of the Pleiades, so the 7 sisters constellation, okay? And here we have this lovely box image. This is going to be the box cover here, and then the cards here, and as you can see, it's just absolutely, stunning cards with the keywords on the bottom there, and it's going to be one you can use if you are an Oracle card user as well. And then one of the last ones that I want to touch on, and I know that we're talking through these kind of fast, but we're going to be opening up the chat in a few minutes here. But one of the last two I want to talk about are the Transcendent Journeys Oracle and the White Light Oracle. And both of these are beautiful. I'll hold this up here for a minute so you can take a look at it. They're both very different. You can see the artwork is very different from one another. The Transcendent is very, paint, and it's very beautiful, and it's very colorful, and then the white light is a deeper, more, it looks more computer. I don't know if they use, I'm guessing they use computer graphics for it, but it's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck, and they focus on like, you know, sound waves and light waves and measuring that and kind of bringing that into the design as well. So that is something that we, you know, that's kind of a wide selection of what we have for you here. And I know I went through them pretty quickly. So if you have questions about them, I am more than happy to answer and hold up specific decks again, things like that, answer any questions you have. So Anna, if you want to go ahead and open up the chat, we'll let it refresh here for a hot minute. And I'm going to pop out my lovely fan here because it is warm in here in my home office. But that's okay. So as it refreshes, looking at those decks, do you guys see any decks you're just like super excited for and that you're like, I need to get my hands on it? Do you have any questions about a particular deck coming up? Because I'm more than happy to show you anything I have on hand. Treya, I don't know the backgrounds of all of the artists, and I, in particular, don't know all of the artists involved in. Treya asked if there are decks by Black or POC artists or feature Black people, and I don't know all the backgrounds of everybody involved in the decks. Thinking of the Vox Arcana, the one where there's going to be 78 different artists. So there's going to be, you know, a lot of different varieties of people in there, and I imagine that that's going to be one you're going to want to look at as well. And then Annie also, or I'm sorry, Chris mentioned the Golden Tarot and the Black Tarot. Yep, so there are two different decks that you can get together as like you can buy them and use them together if you want to, but they are sold separately. Okay, let's see. So that is just our tarot. Barbara asked, you know, does the catalog include standalone tarot books? And this is going to be our tarot decks and kits along with our oracles and stuff. But you can take a look at, you know, the website and stuff like that and our other catalogs for, you know, the books specifically. And then any decks being designed with gay men in mind, asks Richard Robbins. Thank you. There is one, let me just grab that here, that I am looking at, and it is the Gregory Scott Tarot. And Gregory Scott is a member of the LGBT community here, and helped design this deck. And it's a Rider-Waite clone, but there are some themes there. I didn't talk about this one because I just was running up against time, but we'll talk about it here. So yes. And thank you, Anna, the books as well. I always look at the decks, so, you know, I appreciate that. What's my secret for speaking so eloquently, Elliot? Oh, you're so sweet. It's probably just bearing the nerves. They say if you're excited or if you're nervous, you're also excited. So tell yourself that you're excited rather than you're nervous. Looking at some of the other people, what was that last Oracle deck? Summer asked. The last Oracle deck was this page here with the Transcendent Journeys and the White Light Oracle. Transcendent Journeys and the White Light Oracle. Those are both the last two oracles that I shared there. Let's see, what else do we have? Let's see. Just letting this load a little quick here. Are there any new decks with dragons? Lady Raven asked, are there any new decks with dragons? And that's going to be the Wizard's Tarot that I showed. There's quite a few dragons in there. You know, and the back features this wonderful dragon design. It's very orange and blue and very like almost reminds me of Temperance from the Shadowskips Tarot, where you have the blue and the orange energies coming together on the back with this dragon overlaying it. So if you're a dragon fan, definitely check that out. Yeah, I think that it's going to be, I know Lisa mentioned that there's so many coming out that they're going to be adding to their collection. I think that that's the thing, you know, we have so many beautiful decks and such precious little room wherever we are that it's like, okay, how do we store this? And there's always room for more, Barbara. Yes, that's very true. Barbara says always room for more. I think that it's really going to be something we're seeing too as these themes evolve, because like I said, both the dark wood and the both the dark wood and the Poe are a bit more macabre and a bit, a bit different than I think what we're used to, and I love that. So as we're seeing these themes evolve, we're going to see more and more decks come out, I'm sure. And then April mentioned that the trend seems to be no more borders. We've been noticing that as well here at Llewellyn. But one thing that we actually did with the dark wood, let me show you. I'm going to pull a card here. Here's the Nine of Cups. You'll see that there is a border on this, but it's actually not opaque, so you can see through it a bit. I think that's going to be, a really cool. And I actually really love how that, because it frames the image, but then it doesn't block anything out. And then. Have you ever worked with I have not worked with the Debbie. I have not worked with the Dark Mirror Tarot. But thank you for bringing that up. I'll add that to my list to look at. Let's see. Yes, and then Laura mentioned following artists on Instagram. Follow the artists. Follow Llewellyn if you haven't as well. And I'm gonna also include in the video description here the links where you can go get your sign up for the catalog, sign up for the emails from us as well. And Anna's there with the coupon code, it looks like. Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, and so if there's anything else that you guys want to see, do stay tuned to our social media, because we do share teases from decks and things like that. I know we did that when the Mermaid Tarot was coming out by Lisa Robertson. So if you haven't seen that, it's been out for a little bit now, but definitely check that out. And in the meantime, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to hit us up on social media, ask us anything. We're always here for you. But on behalf of Llewellyn, I want to say thank you for queuing in today. And I also want to talk about a really quick thank you to Anna and the team at Llewellyn for putting this whole thing together, not just this presentation today, but this whole gigantic Llewellyn Con. It has been a phenomenal thing watching all this, and you guys have done a great job. So thank you to everybody. And we will see you soon.